welcome to today's Vision 6 Power Session, ACMA changes for SMS. My name's Andy, I'm the product trainer at Vision 6 here in Brisbane. I'll be taking you through today's session. So firstly, who is ACMA or what is ACMA? Well, it actually stands for Australian Communications and Media Authority, and it's an Australian government statutory authority, and it's responsible for collecting the information about broadcasting, radio communication and telecommunication taxes, and also regulating Australian media. So everything from an ad not fitting certain guidelines that the TV network must follow, to things to do with licensing, taxes, and that kind of thing relating to the use of anything from communications radios, like two-way radios that are licensed, through to SMSs and email. So it's a very broad ranging authority and sort of a very large area that the ACMA encompasses. And it's also responsible for enforcing the Spam Act 2003. So another thing that I guess falls under today's session, very important. And finally, it also covers anyone who sends commercial email, SMS, or instant messages, and they must ensure that the message is sent with consent. It's a very important one, and that it also contains sender identification, contact information, and includes a function there to unsubscribe as well. So very important, of course, from an email side of things, if you're using Vision 6 to email your contacts, to make sure that you've got consent so that all of your contacts are consented in, that you're allowed to send to them, and also the ability there to have the sender identified, which is why automatically at the bottom of your email alongside your unsubscribe link, which is that last point there, we also include contact information for the sender or yourself using Vision 6. Now, what's actually changed? Because the ACMA has been around for a very long time, and how does this sort of relate to the changes we've made recently in Vision 6 when it comes to SMS? Well, mid last year, the ACMA actually registered some new rules, and it requires telcos and carriers to identify, trace and block SMS scams. If you're like me, you probably would have noticed that over the years, the number of SMS scams have increased. And now with these rules, it's making it easier for fraudulent or scam SMS providers or actors out there that are sort of sending these SMSs to be blocked, because it's easier to then find the source of these messages. There's sort of more of a requirement and information collected around who's sending the messages and what network or carrier they're using. Thus, it's easier to block. Now, these rules also, there's a requirement there for the carrier or the carriage service provider, which is Vision 6 in this case, to verify that the sender, which is you, has the right to use a particular number or sender ID through a verification process. So this is the new part, where if you're using a sender ID in Vision 6, be it your own phone number, that number must then be verified through an SMS code, which of course Vision 6 has, and also the ability there to, that if you're actually going through and using a alphanumeric sender ID, which is a series of words, for example, it might say Optus or Telstra as the from name when you send an SMS, that too needs to go through a verification process, again, to verify that you actually are from Optus or Telstra or XYZ Donuts, whatever the case might be, for the code that you're sending your SMS from. And who do these things generally apply to? Well, it's anyone who sends an SMS from Vision 6 or any other similar platform, of course, where either you, which is the sender of the message, or any recipient of said message are based in Australia. So that's who sort of the actual new rule broadly applies to. Now, in Vision 6, if you've sort of been around for a little while using the actual platform, or perhaps you're new to SMS, but essentially there's 4 different options available for sending SMS from Vision 6 in terms of where the SMS appears to come from. There's the default option, which is a shared system number, and that's shared amongst all Vision 6 users who just use the default setting. And we do have a large pool of numbers, and if you send an SMS from Vision 6 using the default setting, it will use one of those from numbers. In other words, it's a shared number between various different Vision 6 clients. The other option, or the other 3 options there, is alphanumeric, which is where you can have a name or a number, or sorry, name and number as the from information on any SMSs you send from Vision 6. So again, you might have a bakery called XYZ Donuts, and the SMSs that you send from Vision 6 say XYZ Donuts as who they are coming from. Of course, the person receiving the text can't reply because it's not coming from a number, it's coming from a name. So that's another one that this applies to. You can, of course, use your own mobile phone number as well. So if the person does get that message, they can reply to it. It'll come back to your phone. And we also have a dedicated number or dedicated numbers available for purchase as well. So these are the 4 different sort of types of options you have. They've generally always been there in Vision 6 and they are still there today. It's just that the processes around using some of these particular options have changed a little bit, just for that verification little use case that we've got there now to abide by the new rules and legislations. So as it says there, if you're using an alphanumeric sender ID, again, in the example, if your SMS appears to come from a company name or brand name, this is now requiring approval by Vision 6, and this applies to new and existing IDs. If you've had or been using a alphanumeric sender ID in Vision 6, we have by now, as at the time of having this session or you watching the recording, all current ones that are already in use have either been approved or not approved, depending on whether you're allowed to use them or not. So if you have been using this feature for a little while, don't worry, it's sort of now at the point where, you know, we've gone through all the existing ones and either approved or not approved, depending on the use case. And you would have received communication with regards to that. But so this is just applying to any new ones moving forward and just sort of advising you of what the changes are. Now, numbers other than the shared system number or a dedicated number must be verified by an SMS code. And that sort of is quite obvious, I guess. So when you go into Vision 6 and create an SMS and you want to send it from your own phone number, it will ask you to verify your own phone number first through an SMS that we send you, and then you type that little code into our platform. That essentially verifies to our system that you do own that number, you did receive that text message and put in the code, therefore it must be your number, so yes, we're going to let you send from it. So a few different options that we have available there. But let's have a look at the actual changes within the product. There's not too many changes, really. It's just sort of all encompassed in a nice, clean, easy to use and easy to understand little interface or dialogue that comes up. You can see it on the screen there. We'll walk you through the different options. And so this little interface is the actual only sort of real new part within the package visually. Everything else sort of behind the scenes still works the same. Your SMS will still reach the intended recipient if the number's correct. All of those sort of bits and pieces are the same. But we'll walk you through today the actual interface changes within the platform. So I've just got Vision 6 open here, and we'll go to messages on the left-hand side, and we'll click on new SMS as if we wish to send a new SMS message from within the platform. And you'll notice that as before, you've got the option to use the shared system number. So if you type your message in there, for example, hi, first name, your favorite donuts are now on sale. So we can then go and send that. We can choose the list to send to as normal, and it will come from a shared system number, which is shared amongst multiple Vision 6 accounts, as I mentioned before. And of course, you do need to put in the unsubscribe option there as well. Now, we do also have this new function. So rather than just you type your phone number in here and be able to send from your phone number, or type in a word up here. So previously you could just go in there and make your SMS look like it was coming from XYZ Donuts or whatever sort of word you type in there now. But as part of these new changes with the ACMA, we now have the actual sender ID process. So this is that little dialogue that we saw before. And you've got a few options. So when you are adding a sender ID into Vision 6, it's essentially telling the system, I want to be able to send from something else instead, not just the shared system number. So here's the other 3 options. You've got the ability to send from a brand name, for example, ACMA or XYZ Donuts. You can send from your own mobile number, or you can purchase a dedicated number from us. So this is sort of like a shared system number, except it's not shared. And so it's a number that you purchase from us, but it's only for your Vision 6 account and for your business or organization. So here on this screen, essentially, when we want to send from something other than the system number, we need to choose from one of these 3 things. So we've got a brand name. So if we wanted to go through and use XYZ Donuts as our example, we can press continue there. That will email our team, and we'll just sort of verify that you are from XYZ Donuts. So does the Vision 6 account match what you're saying that you'd like to send from? If, for example, your Vision 6 account is called ABC Sports Store, but the brand name you're trying to send from is Commonwealth Bank, it will probably get rejected because that has nothing to do with one from the other. So yeah, that's just that sort of verification process in there to ensure that you do own that brand name, or it's a close match with a service you provide or your company name, that type of thing. The other option is, of course, to use your own phone number. So just pop your own mobile number in there. If you'd like to send from your phone number, press continue. We'll send an SMS code to that number and you just import it here onto the next screen. And that then tells Vision 6 that that number was verified. It's real, it exists. You were able to enter the code and you can now then use that phone number to send from in Vision 6. So you'll have another option in here. You'll have shared system number and your own phone number as well, if you select that option. And the fourth one is a dedicated number. So you've got shared system number, brand name, your own, and dedicated. And this is where you can purchase your own dedicated number for two-way messaging from us. There's different options available. You can just choose a random number, or you can have sequential numbers like 222-333. Obviously, there's a cost attached to those as well. So please do contact our support or sales team for more information. And I guess the more special the number is, for example, sequential numbers, they can cost a little bit more than just a random number with a series of random digits as an example there. So there are your different options. And now, of course, I've got XYZ Donuts as an approved sender ID. I've gone through the process and had that approved with Vision 6. So I've actually got two options. I can send my SMS as XYZ Donuts, and that's what would appear on the phone. If I send this to anyone, it'll come from XYZ Donuts. Or if I want to, I can use the shared system number. If I've gone through and purchased a dedicated number or verified my own phone number as well, they will appear as options here as well. So basically anything that you set up, and as long as it's verified or approved, that'll appear in the drop down here for you to use. So you can send from any of your sender IDs that you've got approved, set up, or verified in the platform. So yeah, not too many different software changes there really, just a sort of nice single interface to tie that all together to make it very easy to sort of choose the right option depending on which particular thing you'd like to have for your company. Thanks very much for attending today's session. We hope you're enjoying these. My name's Andy. Thanks again. Have a great day.